Hi there and welcome to Module 5. This week in Module 5 we will be continuing our work from Module 4 last week, or last module, on the equity plan to address teacher qualifications or another specific issue related to inequity in your building or in the mock building that you chose. Last week in your plan you described the school's demographics, identified an issue or issues related to an inequity, and then outlined a structure around which decisions are made and the process for planning in your building. In the second part of your plan, you will fill out a template that outlines the action steps you would undertake to address the inequity. Then you are asked to reflect on the issue you presented in the plan. What data will reflect a positive change with this issue? What should the school do now that you have developed this plan? How realistic is this plan that it could be implemented and be successful? What does this plan say about the importance of looking at inequities in school? Be thoughtful and reflective in the last part of the plan. It is important for educators to be reflective in practice, to have an idea of how the impact of the school's actions to address inequity can be measured and valued. For the lecture materials and discussion this week, we're going to focus on poverty and its impact on schools. Materials focus on ways to help students affected by generational poverty. One report shows data how poverty in rural schools is much more pervasive than most think. It gives recommendations for action to assist with infant mortality rates, food insecurity, graduation rates, teen pregnancy, and suicide rates associated with rural poverty. There's also a Canadian study that compares rural poverty to urban poverty to show the difference in factors leading to educational outcomes in disadvantaged communities. While the lecture materials give some broad ideas about generational poverty and its impact on education, the discussion this week will focus on the work of Ruby Payne. Many of you may already be familiar or be aware of her work with poverty and the development of a framework for working with students from poverty. This discussion will focus on her idea of hidden rules and ask you to share with your group new learning and your understanding of how important hidden rules are to working with students from poverty. There's a PowerPoint and PDF that outlines the 9 powerful practices of working with students from poverty and resources that every child must have to determine their success and that educators must recognize that help students in their education. The module concludes with a short video about Dr. Tiffany Anderson when she was superintendent of Jennings School District near St. Louis and her dedication to working with students from poverty. She is now the superintendent of schools in Topeka, Kansas. And again, as always, if you have questions, please reach out. Email via Canvas, or you can text me 660-254-4424. Thanks a lot and have a great week.